across a continent, and it's South Africa, which is a country that's been seeing one of the biggest waves of migrant departures in years. More than 178,000 African migrants have left the country in recent months. Excuse me, over 115,000 to Zimbabwe and more than 56,000 to Malawi alone. And this has been driven by a government crackdown on one part, on undocumented migration, and also, in some cases, sadly, violent anti-foreigner protests and marches against undocumented migrants. Now, an organization representing migrant workers from Lesotho is appealing for calm, warning that attacks on foreign-owned shops and traders risk repeating painful chapters from the region's own history. The Migrant Workers Association of Lesotho says what began as concerns over bylaws and immigration compliance has in places turned into intimidation, looting and mob violence. We now speak to Nelson Nkhetse, who's Executive Director at the Migrant Workers Association of Lesotho. Thank you very much indeed for joining us, Nelson. Welcome to the program.
Good morning. How are you this morning?
We are good, but I guess Lesotho, which is completely surrounded by South Africa, going through a challenging time at this time, your nationals, in terms of some of the anti-migrant marches that we've seen in recent times. You've now issued an urgent plea for calm. What are you asking South Africans and their government to do right now?
Thank you so much. I'm Lesson Nkhetse from Migrant Workers Association of Lesotho. Yeah, we are much concerned about how South Africans are dealing with issue of migrants themselves. They are claiming to be working towards the rule of law, and we assumed that when they say migrants should go back to their countries, they are going to do it in a manner that it is going to respect the rule of law and, of course, the human rights, as their country is known by its constitution protection of human rights. But the way and the manner in which they are doing it, really, it is frustrating. As we have seen, a lot of people have lost their lives and properties. That itself, it was done by the very migrants. They are doing illegal acts in their country. So really, as the association, we are calling upon all political leaders, cultural, any spheres of leadership in South Africa to talk to their people to see to that action that they are doing itself, it cannot correct anything that the migrants are doing. And we see that doing a lot of mistakes that other countries maybe have done, and that itself it's not enough. They need to see to that they correct it in a manner that they know that South Africans are all over the world, even in Africa. We have never been in that harsh for them to be expelled or even take their properties anywhere in Africa. So we are just saying maybe they have forgotten or they don't know. Their leaders, they should tell how other countries participated in building the very same South Africa that they have today. I think that is the message that we are passing as the association.
You've drawn a direct comparison to the 1998 unrest in Lesotho when foreign-owned businesses were attacked. Why did you feel as an organization that it was necessary to invoke that history?
History, it is very important because the experience itself was very bad, and even today, most of those companies that left Lesotho, they left for good. So we were telling them that whatever that they're doing, they should know we have passed it and we are not so happy that it happened in our country. So we wanted them to learn from us and know that that itself, it will make them miserable. And for the upcoming years, not only now, but even for the upcoming years, that happened in Lesotho in 1998 was not on, and we cannot be celebrating it now when it's happening in South Africa. Especially, it is even done by people that they think they understand their constitution, they even understand the rule of law. So that was the reason why we said maybe they are not aware of such. They should know that things when they're happening, it can cause a lot of challenges that can take long and of course, economically, socially, and otherwise, it will make them feel bad until they can understand that the issue of migrants, it has to be dealt with holistically and documented or undocumented. Those are human beings, and we insist that no human beings are illegal in anywhere, more especially in Africa. So that spirit really, it has to be taken care of, and leaders, they have to be very vigilant, and they have to openly condemn any acts of looting, any acts of inhuman treatment that is happening to any human being in the land of Africa.
What are you hearing from Basotho traders and workers on the ground in South Africa? I know that in the lead up to the June 30 march, there was a lot of activity in terms of marches, intimidation, but we're hearing reports that this has subsided now since the June 30 march. Is that the feedback that you're getting as well?
People are heartbroken because most of them, their hard-earned properties, their hard-earned items, and everything have been destroyed and taken just like that by South Africans. So that itself really, it has made a lot of people to become hopeless. That is the spirit now, even what is happening now. Because if your things have been taken and nobody has been arrested or been taken to any court to get any compensation, that itself really, it's bad. And we call on all African countries to maybe talk to South Africa about all those things. The leaders of March and March, they need to account for those actions, because if ever no action is going to be taken, I think somebody somewhere will come and do the very same thing in the name of being popular like those two who are now popular simply because of killing other African people.
So Lesotho has a very small population, being a small landlocked country. Do we know how many Basotho are actually in South Africa?
In 2015, when Basotho applying for a Lesotho exemption permit, it was estimated that over 400,000 Basotho are in South Africa in different sectors, as we know, farming, all those kind of sectors that Basotho are working in South Africa. They're scattered across all sectors.
And the reason I've asked this is that we believe that the population of Lesotho is around, what, 2.4 million. So that's about 20% of the population, which means to me that a lot of Basotho are reliant on their relatives that are in South Africa to send money home.
Definitely, definitely.
Right, so what happens now? Your organization says that South Africa and Basotho share deep historical ties, especially when we think about the mines. And do you believe that this shared history is being lost in this current situation?
There is a lot of hope, though, like the geographical location of Lesotho and South Africa, it's somehow different from any other countries in Africa. That is where you will see the movement between these two countries. It's easier, and it's because in some of provinces, their relatives across the river. Some there's not even a river; it's just across the roads. So really, these people are just moving around, and of course, because of that geographical locations, they do move, even but South Africans, they are here in Lesotho doing their own businesses. Some are, of course, documented, some are not documented. So really, but the thing itself, it has caused a lot of families to suffer, as we know, like we have correctly raised it. They depend more on the remittances that those migrants are sent back home. So if these people, they are working as domestic workers, others are working as street vendors, some are working in factories, and man, no, most of those, they were documented migrants. But the thing is, the much and much people, they were not so mindful of such. They were just saying everybody should go back to their countries. So whether documented or undocumented, they didn't bother much about that. That is why now you will find even migrants with Lesotho exemption permits who were supposed to be working and who were supposed to be at their workplaces. They were chased away, but preparations were made again for them to go back to their work, as the employers were maybe calling them back to do the work. But people are suffering really because of that, and it has caused a lot of pain in some of the families.
Looking ahead, what would meaningful protection for migrant workers in South Africa actually look like, and who needs to act to make this happen, in your view?
I think the South African police really, they need to be proactive. They need to see to that they do the work of protecting these fellow migrants. Because in some places we have seen even police were there where the police, they have to do the work accordingly. We also believe that the South African Human Rights Commission, they have to investigate all these human rights violations. And of course, they need to bring to book people who are maybe perpetrators, so that that thing can never happen again. Also, the leaders, especially the political leaders, what we have seen is that now that South Africa are going for elections in November, we believe that somehow some political parties, they are taking advantage of that circumstances. Hence, the same people are taking their jobs, migrants are taking their jobs, they are doing what and what, and that itself, it is giving them a mileage now for votes. People that are believing that they have a soft spot for them as Africans, yet they are fueling hate speech, and that itself is not what they're supposed to be doing. So I think also political leaders, they have to be accountable for what they're doing. That itself will also make it proper for anybody to know it is improper to do anything that that's not supposed to do.
My dear brother, we're going to have to leave it there. Thank you so much indeed for sharing your thoughts with us on this very, very important and sensitive issue. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, most welcome. Bye.
Right, that was Lerato Nelson Nkhetse, who's the Executive Director at the Migrant Association of Lesotho, speaking to us, concerned about what's happening to his fellow nationals in South Africa. But as I was reporting earlier, we are seeing those marches and demonstrations subsiding. I want to see if that has translated to some of the incidents of intimidation, violence, and as we've just heard, stealing of property has also subsided as well.
The sound of Africa, starting strong. Rise and shine with Peter Ndoro and Tsepiso Makwetla on the Channel Africa app and SABC Plus.
8 o'clock Central African time is your time, and it's time to catch you up with the news as we say